can't wait till that LS is just sitting right here, man.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to part 15 of the RX7 rebuilt. As you guys saw in the previous episodes, we got a few miscellaneous things painted on the RX7. We can't quite install our mirrors and sunroof until we paint the entire car, but we did get our fenders trimmed out, so let's go ahead and start with those and aligning everything else on the car. Stay tuned and let's get started with today's episode. Alright, you guys, got the harness all tucked away. Everything is clipped on and plugged in. Had to use a zip tie right over here to hold it down. Not a big deal. Headlight lid is looking fresh. After we wet sand, buff and polish, that's really gonna pop. Same thing on this side, got the harness all tucked away, plugged in. But we do have a little hold up over here. We have 2 bolts on the fender that are broke off. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this drill bit right here. That's the correct size for a 10 mil bolt. And then we'll use this thread maker. Not sure what this is called. I like to use that though if I ever get any paint or can't start a bolt. That really aligns the threads. So let's go ahead and drill that out and then we'll be ready to mount the fender. So we got one out. Now let's go ahead and get this other one. Alright guys, so we got our fender and headlight back off. I just needed to adjust the hood to see how far forward it needed to go. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten this hinge right here because with the fender you can no longer reach them bolts anymore. We got the door 100% aligned. The gaps are looking really even all the way around. So now we're going to go ahead and tighten down these bolts right here on the pillar. We got our bracket right over here installed and the headlights. So while I got it off, I'm gonna go ahead and touch it up. It's got some rust on it and give it that brand new shiny look, and then we'll start getting it back on the car. Let's get it done. Alright guys, so we just got the front end aligned on the RX7. We got the fenders and headlights back on. We are going to do some final adjustments when our bumper comes in. For some reason the first one was canceled. We ordered another one and that one's on its way. So now let's go ahead and get under here and install the ABS unit. And the reason why we're using this little rod right here is because our original cable broke, so we do have to order one of those. So let's go ahead and get the original ABS on it and get that out of the way. Bruno's a little sick. He's not able to supervise much, but he's making sure stuff is getting done.
Drop a like, guys, for Bruno.
You gotta be very careful not to scratch anything, and with all these lines in the way, it is gonna take some patience to get this done.
How's it going down there?
It's a bit tight with all these lines, but we got it in its mounts. Now let's go ahead and start bending these into shape. I'm sure some of these got twisted. It's going to be a bit tricky with this older car. I do not want to cross thread any of these lines, so we're just going to take our time and take it one at a time.
Yes, sir. Best way to do it.
Feed this one up here. Alright, so we got the ABS unit on. All the lines are nice and tight. That's plugged in and ready to go. Now we're going to go ahead and move on the bumper. And this is the parts bumper off the red RX7, which was hit in the quarter panel. It just nicked it right here in the corner. As hard as it is to find parts for these cars, we are going to try to make this one work. This bracket right here, we just use some more screws to reinforce the bracket in there. So now let's go get it on the car and see what the fitment looks like. Here's all the parts we painted last night. Mirrors turned out great. So now let's go ahead and get that bumper on.
Let's do it, man. I'm ready. Man, that thing's looking slick. Looks so much better with the bumper on.
It's coming together. It doesn't fit up too bad, but if you look over here on where the damage was, this bracket right here, the screws for that, we're gonna have to pull the interior back apart to get those on. But we are gonna let this sit overnight, and then we're gonna come back in the morning and heat this up and get all the bolts in that run along right here.
Shoot, that doesn't look too bad, man, compared to what it looked like.
I know, so we just need to fix that up and we'll be able to save this bumper.
Cause this bumper is pretty pricey. I mean, like what, 500 bucks?
Couple $100. It's just hard to come across, you know, for the shipping and stuff. There's a bunch in California, but they're just hard to actually find around here in the South, but
Man, overall, it's coming together. The interior, all pretty much complete, except the door panels, but everything else looks pretty much complete.
Everything is coming together. We got our fenders on. So next is just that front suspension, and then throw that motor in, and then we're down to the easy stuff, just painting the rest of the car. And then let us know on the hood. Some of you guys recommended that we paint the hood black with the black sunroof. I don't know what I think about that.
Yeah.
This thing, once we get this motor in, we might have to put a scoop in right here. Got some big power coming. You know, maybe even a supercharger or turbo on that.
Oh yeah, stay tuned, guys.
That's really gonna top it off. I'm excited. tomorrow I need to go ahead and get these latches on so the door's closed. But man, we got all the gaps looking right. We just need to work on the trunk gap and then the bumper. So now let's go ahead and get the car on the lift and start raising it up so we can start working on that suspension.
Let's do it. Bit of a leg workout, eh?
Yeah, I'm not gonna hit the gym tonight.
Let's go ahead and start raising this sucker up in the air, man.
It's been a minute since we had it on the lift. Alrighty guys, that's a wrap for this episode. We got the front end aligned on the RX-7. That took a lot of taking off and reinstalling and making sure we get everything right. So in the next episode, we're going to go ahead and start mocking up our motor and getting our front suspension done. Hopefully our headers come in by then. With all that being said, thank you guys for all the love and support. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, smash that subscribe button, and turn on your post notifications to see this RX-7 come back to life. Follow us on Instagram at DannyTV. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.